Injuries can be scary, of course, especially since they can happen to anyone. I mean, a lot of people here in Colorado ski, snowboard.
And such a big concern for folks, especially as ski season is gearing up. So we have the one and only Dr. Kohli to give us some details about this. Like, how common are ski injuries like this?
You know, thankfully, they're actually becoming less and less common. But let's picture a typical day in Colorado. Assume we have 1,000 people on the slopes. About 2 to 3 of them will have an injury. And most of them are very minor injuries. Some of them can, of course, be serious. And thankfully, only about 50 people a year who have life-threatening fatal injuries from skiing.
And does it depend on your expertise? Because obviously Mikaela Shiffron is one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
So does that help you, or given the risk and how fast she's going, is that actually more of a risk?
Well, you know, the better you are at skiing, obviously the less likely you are to injure yourself. But the thing with skiing is there are a lot of other factors that go into it, that no matter how good a skier you are, even Mikaela Shiffron, you can get an injury. So if you think about the terrain, and it looks like that may be what happened here, I'm speculating, but if you hit a rock or you hit something, it can very quickly sort of tip your ski, especially because it's a high impact sport. So injuries are common, you're going very fast. With all the protective gear that we now have, thankfully bindings that come loose, headgear. People have made helmets very trendy and very fashionable, which has been a great development for head injuries and such. That has really helped. You can imagine the weather conditions, if it's icy or it's foggy or if it's snowy, if it's windy, sometimes that can certainly affect your risk of injury. And then something that I really frown upon that is very common now, people drinking alcohol or smoking a little marijuana and skiing while they're under the influence of something, because it does slow your reflexes and your response time, and you really need to respond quickly on the slopes.
And I'm curious about just older folks as we ski. A friend of mine, literally just a normal, I think she was on a green run, like tore her ACL and was out for like 6 months.
Yeah, I broke my ankle.
Well, there
like,
you go.
Broke it in half. You remember that?
I remember.
Oh.
So yeah, just getting off the chairlift.
Yeah, see, these are reason A, B, and C why I don't ski, but are older Coloradans at risk?
Very much. And we think older, we think, oh, greater than 75. No, it's actually greater than 50. We start to lose elasticity in our joints and our ligaments. So we have less water in them, so they become stiffer. So just like your friend, they're easier, more likely to tear. So knee injuries are really common in older individuals. Osteoporosis. A lot of us getting menopause earlier, even osteopenia, where we have thinner bones, your bones become like twigs. You're talking about a high impact sport, you're much more likely to get a fracture on a slope after the age of 50 than you are when you're much younger. And then we don't think about conditions like hypothermia or dehydration, but as we age, our thirst reflex gets impaired and our ability to sort of regulate our water status, especially up at high altitude, gets impaired. So we see a lot of fatigue or altitude sickness, dehydration, those types of injuries in older people. Thankfully, head trauma, again, less common, but if an older person hits their head, they're much more likely to have a concussion from it than a younger person that, again, has a little bit more elasticity.
So what are some ways that we can reduce our risk? Because a lot of people love to ski, they love to snowboard. What can we do to protect ourselves?
So first thing, be honest with yourself. If you're like me or Alex here and you're not a good skier,
Right.
Me
do
too.
not, or, well, you're a snowboarder though.
Yeah, but clearly not that great. Can't even get off the chairlift.
So no peer pressure. You do not take on a terrain that is out of your comfort zone. You do not go up there and start skiing like an expert when you've been sitting on the couch all summer, all fall, or you're out of shape. So you really want to be honest with what your limitations are. If you do want to ski, then you want to warm up into it. So really do stretches, do core building exercises. Remember that cross-legged posture on the ground where you sit on the ground and you stand up? You can't do that. You should not be skiing aggressive
there you go.
slopes because you don't have that core strength. So really be honest with yourself, get that protective equipment and try as much as you can to save the glass of wine or the alcohol or what have you for the end of the ski day, not the beginning.
They call that après?
Après.
Après. Après ski.
Yes.
Okay.
I have it on like a sweater. Right?
Yeah.
I can't say it, but.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, as always.